Angel Tuccy, your media mastery specialist, media exposure specialist, and your media coach. How are you guys doing on this beautiful Saturday? You hanging in there? You hanging in there? It's been quite a week, right? It's been quite a week. Well, I want to talk to you guys today about no business left behind. No business left behind. What does that mean? I don't know yet. I don't know for sure. But here's what I do know. I've had a few conversations, some private conversations, some one-on-one conversations. Irina, how are you doing today? And I will tell you what, that we are in this together. That's what I want that to mean, is that we are in this together, that we will rise up and we will serve each other. And so much of what's happening right now, and I think the beauty of what's really happening right now is watching people come together to lift each other up, to serve, to connect, to add value, to build relationship. It's really, it can be a really beautiful gift right now if we look at it that way. How many of you are familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich. Oh, Susan, how are you, darling? Good to see you. Jane, thanks so much for being here today. It is a really valuable book that I think that right now, this is where we need to just dig deep, right? We need to dig deep into truly what matters, what's the most important, what is our burning desire, and how can we serve others? And when we can pull all of that together, we can rise up. I mean, we're entrepreneurs here, right? Pretty much everybody here in the Media Mastery Group, we are entrepreneurs. We are the crazy ones who wake up unemployed and unemployable. That we are the ones out there making stuff happen. We're figuring it out, as Marie Forleo would say, right? Everything's figure-outable. We are out there figuring it out. We're pivoting. We're being creative. We're being innovative. But I do want to give, I rode my Peloton today, right? I rode my bike, I got my exercise, and I was taking a shower, and I was just thinking about you guys. Like, how can I serve, and how can I be a gift, and how can I be a light? And I think that keeping us on track and keeping us focused is going to be one thing. Giving you hope and shining that light is another. I know that financial-wise, right? Scary times, uncertain, who knows what's going to be. But here's what I do know. The financial institutions are willing to help. I've called my banker, I've called my credit card, right? They are willing to help. There are economic things ready for you. SBA loans and grants, lines of credits. Your credit cards will extend your line of credit. They will extend your payments. They will allow you to miss payments without any late fees right now. There's the financial institutions, everybody that I've called has been so friendly. They've been so friendly. It might mean we might have to tap into and get a little bit creative, right? But make sure that you do, right? Don't just sit back and wait. Take action, right? Because those lines are only going to get busier. Those calls, it's only going to get harder and harder to get in touch with them the longer this goes. So be proactive and take action, right? Call your banker. I would always tell my kids, right? Once in a while, I know you can do everything online, but go into the bank and get to know them, because they are there for you. They're your ally when you need stuff like this. So get in touch with your mortgage, your credit cards, your electric bills, like everybody. They're just being so friendly right now and so helpful. So extend and figure out and get your financial house in order. Because when we have when we're worried about our finances, everything else is a crisis. Have you ever noticed that? Like when we're going through a financial struggle, everything's a struggle. So everything can be fine, but if you need tires, or there's a big expense or an unexpected bill, like everything else seems to fall apart. And yet when that piece is comfortable and it's and it's not a crisis, and you've got some money in the bank, or you've got a credit card or a line of credit or something you can draw on for times such as this, it helps create a little sense of peace, right? And that's what I want you to have right now. What are some things that will give you a sense of peace, right? And so let's get that. Let's focus on that. We get what we order. Let's find peace. Let's find financial peace. Oh, look, it's a Dave Ramsey thing, right? Let's find some financial peace in this time. But also, I want to make sure that we are helping you. I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business coach, right? I want to make sure that your business is thriving, right? Maybe not thriving, right? But your business isn't dying on the vine. Your business isn't in quarantine, that it's not hiding in the shadows, that we position you to get in front of the wave, right? Because it's those leaders that are in front of the wave that'll get through this, on top, right? That'll get through this the easiest. And we have to do it together. Right? None of us are going to get through this alone, right? We have to do it together. So how can you serve? What can you do for others, right? When things aren't going good, do good, right? If you're like in that woe is me and I can't and it's not and this, right? Like go out and do something good. I mean, you can't physically go out, but virtually there's a whole lot of good you could be doing. There are a lot of resources that could use your love, your time, your attention, your finances, like whatever you can do to serve. And we all have something. Every single one of us has something that we can give. Luke Wyckoff, darling, so good to see you. So good to see you. I saw our anniversary picture, like from 6 years ago, pop up in a Facebook memory. Darling, I am so thrilled to have you here. Bradley, Stephanie, like so. Romper Room, right? It's time for Romper Room. Okay, so this is this no business left behind. We are going to rise through this and we are going to get through this together. But you cannot let your business fall behind. Now, I made you guys like a cute little graphic, right? This is, so if you saw the Connect Summit the other day, our friend Rhodey, she's just darling. She is just darling, but she used a sketchbook to kind of create her talk on the virtual summit, and I loved it. I didn't have a sketchbook, but I had a notepad. So, use what you got. Done is better than none. Only Mary Poppins is practically perfect in every way, and we don't have to be. Okay, so this is this Business Fundamental 101. Where's my camera? There we go. Business Fundamental 101 that I want to make sure that I cover with you today. This is critical. This is going to be absolutely critical information for helping you get through this in this, not just now, but fundamentally, right? As you go forward, as you build your business. Right? We are a business, not a hobby. Right? What's the difference? You have customers. What is a customer? Somebody who pays you. Right? So there's the difference. Expensive hobby that you might be running, or are you running a business? Let's turn it into a profitable business. Okay, so this is my attempt of a drawing of a funnel, of a sales funnel. Right? You guys are familiar with sales funnels, right? You're the concept of a funnel. Big opening on top, little opening at the bottom, right? Put a lot of stuff in, let all the customers, right, all the leads and prospects in the top of the funnel, let them all, muddle around in there, and then they drop out as customers at the bottom. So there's 3 phases to your business: exposure, engagement, enrollment. Exposure, engagement, enrollment. Does that make sense? Type a 1 if you think that makes sense, right? Let me know you're tracking with me. Exposure, engagement, enrollment. What are these 3 pieces? Right? Exposure is the first time people come across you, right? You meet somebody, they've heard of you, they see your brand somewhere, maybe they see your social media post, your Facebook ad, they hear about you on the radio, they met you at a networking event, somebody introduced you to them, right? That's all exposure, right? This is all the things that we are all doing. We call marketing and advertising. We go to trade shows, we go to networking events, we're advertising, we're sponsoring, like we're doing all this stuff to create exposure. Yes, right? Does that make sense? Fabulous. Samantha, Jeanette. Okay. All right. So then that's getting your brand out there. That's getting your name, people becoming familiar. They've never heard of you before, never met you, seen you, know nothing of you. And so the first time they get a glimpse into you, right? That's exposure. You're getting in front of a brand new audience. We call it OPP, right? Other people's platforms. When you're leveraging books and networking events and trade shows and webinars and all of that, right? Being a guest on other people's stuff, that's exposure. This funnel piece is what I call engagement. And this is where most small business owners, they kind of mix up exposure and engagement, because they think that this engagement piece is exposure, right? But really, they've already met you. They're already on your list. They're already following you. They're already familiar with you. You've already gone to a networking event. You've met them, right? So these are people that you've already been exposed to, but now we create engagement. This is the piece that I think that business owners are completely there's a lot of misunderstanding. And there's a lot of people that teach engagement, right? Email marketing, social media marketing, right? These are the people that are following you. They're, this is why we're doing videos. This is why we do posts, right? To create this engagement. And from the engagement is when they become customers, right? Customer or prospects, right? These leads become customers when they get results. So that's how we get them through the funnel. We give them results here, right? We add value. This is our community. This is where we're building connection. This is a critical piece for them to become customers. Like right now, the people that are hiring me for private coaching, like they didn't just come from here. They've been here, right? The people that are signing up for Media Mastery Live, they didn't come from here. They came from here, right? These are the people I've been building my relationship with and adding value and building that KLT factor, know, like, and trust. This is critical. But if all we do is wiggle around in here, we can't force this, right? We kind of have this really short sales cycle and we're like, well, I need more customers. So I go back to them. You want to buy from me now? How about now? On a scale from 1 to 10, like I really need this. And I've got, like, you start to get in that desperation mode because you're only talking to the same people that you talked to last week. And you can't force them into this enrollment. But what happens is if you're out there creating brand new exposure, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, you're bringing more engagement in, which creates more energy, creates more excitement, even builds up those testimonials and those referrals, and then now there's even more in the community, and they're telling, and by the new people coming into the community, hearing from the people that are already in your community, right? This creates more excitement and energy and engagement, and that's where the enrollment comes from. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to be honest, right? And just think about, on a scale from 1 to 10, how you doing on exposure? Now that you understand the difference between exposure and engagement, how you doing? I'm going to now look here. I rode my Peloton today, and then I was in the shower, and it was just my heart is going out to business owners, especially you here in my Media Mastery group. Like, you're my people, and I feel like I feel responsible, right, for helping you get through this, to be the guide and to be the leader and to bring you the resources and bring you the hope and the teachings, right, that you guys need, the lessons that you guys need, because we will get through this, right? We will, right? I want you to rereading Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to start kind of an unofficial, a casual book club. You can do this on your own. I'm not going to get with you every week and find out what chapter did you read, right? You're big adults, right? You can download it on Audible. I want you to be going through the book Think and Grow Rich. We need to shift our mindset for such a time as this. We need to be innovative. We need to be leading the pack. We need to be serving our communities, our clients, and our families. They're looking at us, right? They're looking at us for guidance and for direction. And that's how we're going to get through this, right? We're going to get through it together alone. Stephanie, she says, I'm doing more to get new exposure based on what I learned from you during the latest summit. That's what I'm here for, right? So this is where Angel stays in her lane, right? There's a lot of people that teach this, right? They teach email marketing, they teach social media, right? They're helping you to build Facebook communities. Like, there's a lot of people that teach this. I teach this. I stay in my lane, right? I want you to get here and then bring them into your sales funnel, right? And then I teach you how, like, there's steps we can put in here so that you can monetize this, right? We monetize our exposure, and we can track our exposure in the bank, right? Because usually this is like a 90-day cycle from exposure to engagement to enrollment. Is typically, depending on your sales funnel, is a 90-day process. So the amount of exposure, the amount of revenue that you're seeing right now is based on the exposure you were getting about 90 days ago. Now, it might be a little bit longer of a sales process right now, just based on where people are, and we might have to work through them with some things. And so how do we do that? I'm going to help you with that too. So when we think about so I want you to grade yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. Tell me where you're at in engagement, my engagement grade. And on a scale from 1 to 10, I want you to tell me your exposure grade, right? So we can't do one, we need them both. We need to build that relationship and build that community and add value and keep that trust factor, right? And especially now more than ever. But we need to be bringing in fresh new people in. And right now there's so much opportunity. Like the opportunities are endless. So working on your book, right? Being a guest on podcasts, being a guest on summits, a guest on webinars, adding articles for magazines, putting a chapter in somebody else's book. There are so many opportunities right now for you to be in that exposure space. Make sure you've got your media pitch. Make sure you've got your food book at least being written, right, in process. The engagement piece, right? You can't force them through the enrollment, but let's talk about the enrollment piece, right? How do we continue to keep our doors open? How do we continue to keep the wheels spinning, right? And make sure that we're still adding value. You've got to pivot. You might have to pivot some of your offerings, right? Because when I think about the clients that are coming in right now in Media Mastery Live or that signed up for private coaching, they've been in that engagement phase for a while. But anybody brand new, like those are pretty big jumps, right? You can't just take from exposure to your high ticket item in most cases, right? Unless they were exactly looking for you, you happen to be exactly in front of the right audience, right? And it was the perfect storm. We love it when the perfect storm happens, but we can't always manufacture that. But what we can manufacture or create is keeping people moving through. So there's an item we like to call a tripwire item. Really, exposure 9, good job, Janetta. Awesome. Engagement 7, good, right? Engagement 7, exposure 4. Those are good. When you think about it, really, as a business owner, right? Exposure and revenue are the two things we need to be focusing on to build our business. The engagement is really where most small business owners, they stay and they spend 80% of their time in that engagement. A lot of that can be automated. A lot of that can be done, in outside of your prime business building hours. And I want you to build those relationships. They're critical. But it's really easy. That's the piece. I think that's the piece that keeps us on the hamster wheel, right? This is why most entrepreneurs are the busiest broke people on the planet. Why only 6% ever make more than $100,000 a year? It's because they're just in that engagement, talking to the same people over and over again. How about now? How about now? Remember me? I'm still here. Please. You start to get in that desperation mode. But when you've got new exposure and you've got new people coming in, that's what creates that fun energy. So what are some things that you can be creating right now? Pandemic prices, right? Pandemic offerings. I don't want you to take your regular program, your high ticket items, and slash those prices. I want you to create something special and something new. Tweak it a little bit, repackage it a little bit, so that when this is over, you're not tied in that space. So do something special. Knock it off 70% and offer it just to the first 10 people, or only for a short period of time, or only during this window, right? But knock it down and create something special and new that has a really unique pricing. But a tripwire, right? So as people are coming through and they're looking for value, what is your frequently asked question? What are they coming to you for the most advice, right? What do they ask you the most advice for? And can you create something really inexpensive, less than $100, right? Maybe actually a tripwire, less than $30, right? For that little tripwire, something really simple, $27, $19, $13, $7. It just gets them to pull out a credit card, right? Not a lot. You're adding abundance of value, right? You're 10 times the value of what they're spending in many cases, 3, 5, 10 times the value. But it gets them to say, oh, this is a business. This is a service I pay for. And right now, they've got something really unique. They've got something really special they put together just for this time. So, for example, we've got our virtual boot camp, right? I've never done the virtual boot camp ever before. 4 hours, right, of the boot camp. It's usually a full day event. It's live. It's $1,000, right? And we cover the whole thing, right? But we're doing it as a virtual boot camp I think $97, right? So 1/10 of the price for this pandemic time, right? Where it's virtual, you can do it from home. So how can you be creative, serve your clients, create something that's a unique offering? It's not taking your current and slashing the price. Put together a unique package and a unique offering so that you can serve them. Sandy says, love you, praying for your family to be blessed in your business, and praying for your businesses to be blessed. Like, this is right. It won't look the same. It's not going to look the same when we come out of this. It's going to be better, right? Do you believe that? Right? Do you feel that? Like, we're going to slash out, and some of the stuff, like, we're going to do these SWOT analysis. This is a great time to do a SWOT analysis on your business, on your health, on your finances, right? All of it. Like, where are my strengths and where are my weaknesses? Where are the opportunities? Where are the threats? What should I keep doing? What should I start doing? What should I keep doing? What should I stop doing? What should I start doing? What should I keep doing? What should I stop doing? There's probably things on your plate. Maybe there's even offerings. Maybe maybe you've just added a whole lot of stuff and it's gotten to be just too much and confusing. And you got to go back to your passion, go back to your roots, right? And say, I'm going to stay in this lane. I'm going to stay in this lane here. And so you have your Tripwire, right? Something really simple, fun, new little, just something little, right? That gets people in the system. And then something that's kind of a low ticket item, right? Low ticket means low trust, right? I don't have to have this long relationship with you. I don't have to have had this, I don't have, this is the thing, like, to buy a $10 mascara or a $30 something, right? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not a big deal. It's, it doesn't take a lot out of us. And so as you go higher up the chain in value, you have to go higher up the chain in trust. And that's where that engagement comes in. But what can you do now? Something that gets them in the castle, right? Gets them in the castle and adds so much value to them that serves a need that they are going through right now. They're going through hell on earth, right? A lot of us are. A lot of us, that thing that is our hell on earth that you solve. You solve something for somebody. You solve something for a lot of somebodies, right? And if we can stay in your lane and add that value and bring them in, right? Bring them into a community, something in that little Tripwire and something in that low ticket item, right? $100 or less, right? You're going to get through this. You're going to get through this because there's a lot of people right now, they're anxious. They're scrolling around on social media. Their online time has elevated exponentially. So reach out and connect, right? To the people that have already in your system, right? To the people that you already have exposure with, right? Create that engagement, right? Make sure that you're putting out valuable posts. Make sure you've got videos. Make sure you're doing email marketing, that you're participating in the communities and the social groups that you're already involved in, and that you're adding value. You're not just like a voyeur. You're not in the shadows. You're in front of the wave, and you're adding value. Make sure that you're still putting out media pitches, right? That you've got your media pitch. You're doing press releases. You're doing marketing campaigns. Right? You're a guest on other people's programs. You're a guest on seminars and webinars and groups or on radios and podcasts, right? Make sure that you're still doing that. And then let's talk about what are some things that you can do. What's something new that you can put together? So, all right, I want you, so we gave me a grade on a scale from 1 to 10. Where are you on exposure? On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you on engagement? And then what's something new? What's a new package? What's a new something that you could put together that's special and that could serve your clients right now? That could serve this community, right? It's serving this community. We're not asking them, right? They get our free opt-in, right? They get into the funnel for free, right? And in here, we want to build value into them. So what's something that you could do? And you could put that in the comments, right? I'd love to see. What are you doing? What are you creative? Are you bundling stuff together? Normally this was all of this and now it's this, right? Or instead of it being all live, we're offering our digital, right? Tell me what you're doing, and let's inspire others to think outside the box, to lift each other up, to serve each other. Yeah, I don't want it to be all sales pitchy, what this group is about, but I want to know, right? I want to be here. And if you're questioning, like, what should I be pricing and how should I price that and what does that look like? Like, there's some pricing models that are just tried and true, right? And so we know how to price. We know how to price things. We know what the market will bear, right? And so if you've got questions about that, I'd love to continue this. Bartering. Oh, I forgot to talk about bartering. Yes. Bartering is brilliant right now. Bartering, right? We're going back to the old days. I think I had talked about that on a different one. But yeah, what can you barter? Right? Let's go back. I've got 6 eggs. You've got a chicken, right? I guess if I had eggs, I'd also have a chicken. All right. I have 6 eggs. You have some bacon, right? So, right. What can we do and what can we offer? Now, one of my rules of thumb, and I will tell you this, and this is just an angel rule of thumb, and you do with it as you will. When I barter stuff, I tend to barter like my digital stuff and my online stuff, and I don't usually barter anything that is my personal time. Does that make sense? Unless I'm also bartering for personal time. So personal time for personal time, because that's the highest level and the highest value you bring to the table, is your personal time. So personal time for personal time, and then I usually barter like digital stuff and online stuff and stuff I've already created for stuff they've already created, right? Does that make sense? So I hope that was helpful. I say thank you. Thank you so much for trusting me, for being a part of this group, for being a community to each other. I've had a lot of feedback, and a lot of people talk about the value that they're getting in this community, and I'll tell you that my heart just, it grows 10 times bigger every time I hear that, because that's what I want it to be. I want it to be a value, right? I really want it to be a place that we all rise up, because no business left behind, right? I vouch for that. No business left behind. Let's do this together. Let's be what each other needs, and let's rise up right now. So this is Angel Tuccy, your media specialist. I'm here for you, loving on you, praying for you, praying for all of this. And, I'll keep shining my light if you will, right? Your best is welcome here. I promise you that. Your best.